Yeah, baby. Wonder if all my bad decisions get accounted in the algorithms. No statistician could dissuade me from my bigger vision. I know my occupation's quite an unlikely place in this world to occupy and talk about upon a daily basis. Our information's predetermined by some biased business. We all in sermon to silicon that push out lovely neighbors. I'm done with paper chasing, think I'm on to bigger banquets. This that full circle, new wave, energy on a Tuesday. Turn a blue day to a bright hue, yellow with a smooth A in hair. Extra fruit, the brand, you can't move me. The music is man, it's a con job, but this grand. Been blessed with a great hand amongst many that stank. And yeah, it took some hard work, but blind luck play a huge role. And if they say that it don't, then they feeding you fool's gold. And if I know one thing, the truth's home. Even if it's a tough thing to swallow, an even harder thing to hold and truly know without a doubt while on the globe. And even though that seems inherent, it ain't always so apparent. Dangle carrot, you ain't always gonna get it. But don't worry, it's a pretty February in a year with more to carry and more days is yet to come. Under the sun, taking the ferry to the city where the moment's extra pretty, like the people, like the idea that I keep inside my brain that isn't equal to the real world. All that stress ain't saving me fear though. I swear to God I'm trying, but they pushing their demons down my esophagus, screaming the easy life, what I want always. Praise made up holidays, tell me that love is the answer just to boost this economy. Buy more, sell now, but I ain't following. I ain't a hollow man, I'm full of them fall winds. Take it all with a tall grin, and if you feel it, do it with me. And just sing what the song says. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big. So big, so big, so big. Take it all for what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. It ain't all so big. It ain't all so big.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, y'all. It's me, SB.
Dearly beloved.
How y'all doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing well. This is another outstanding Monday. And y'all know what y'all here for. Y'all here for the dynamic duo, myself and Black Man Unfiltered. All right. He will be with us in just a second. But until did I just see something happen? Black Man, is that
you? Yeah, what's going on?
Nothing much is going on. How are you doing?
You know, I'm sunshine party cloudy. How about yourself, Shook?
You know, I'm doing pretty well. Can't complain. Everything is lovely. Wouldn't complain if I could. It's another Monday. It's beautiful outside. We're here doing what we like to do.
Yes, let's get it.
We got beautiful families, kids all intact.
Mm-hmm.
Husband's good.
Yep.
What more can you ask for?
What more can you ask for?
Hey, God himself, but hey, he's always there.
Always.
You felt it, right? You felt it.
Hey.
Came in right on time, right?
Right on time.
So what's been going on with you this past week?
You know, I did a few shows last week that were very interesting.
Absolutely.
Other than that, just been watching, just been trying to figure out this world. It's turning very cold and black. And somebody asked me today at work, somebody asked me, they say you do a lot in the community and you do a lot online. We support your show. I said, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And the question was, you covering everything, but tell me this, where do you see the world in 5 years? Security boss, I didn't have an answer. I said, I just simply said, I don't know.
In 5 years, huh?
Look how it looks right now. In 5 years, it could be really, really bad. So I didn't have
my first thoughts, and I don't, typically think doom and gloom per se, but my first thoughts is that we're going to have another extraordinary epidemic, somewhat like COVID. It's going to have something like that's going to happen again. And we're gonna be out of sort again because we didn't learn from the first one.
Right.
I also see that there's gonna be some sort of attack on our money. Don't know, I don't know how it's going to be, but there's gonna be some sort of attack on money.
Right.
And of course, things are still going to continue to the cost of living is going to continue to get higher, to raise, and people are going to continue to it's going to get higher and higher, and people are going to continue to not have enough money to live.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a lot of desperation.
Yep.
Now we've been saying this now for the last 2 years.
Yep.
We've been predicting, and it's not really a prediction, but we've been saying, I know I have, that what happens when people get so desperate that they got to come into your home and take what you got? What you gonna do?
Yep.
Because the laws are, they putting laws in place where they've already told you, you know what? You better put some signs up because we're not coming to your house anymore. We're not coming to your business. We're not coming to your house. If somebody's invading your space, taking your stuff, you're on your own.
Yep.
So I see a lot of chaos because we've already seen it, and it's only going to get and more intense. Actually, I haven't looked it up this year, but remember this time last year, we looked up how many, what was it? What they call it, black man, when they have all these shootings. What was it? It was looking at mass shootings. Last year, this time last year, we looked it up, and it was probably like 300 and some mass shootings. 654 for the year or something like that. I haven't even looked it up this year, but when you get a moment, tell us how many mass shootings we've had for the first half of 2023, what they call in mass shootings. I stopped. I stopped because it was getting crazy.
Oh,
what is it, black man? Don't.
Oh, in the United States, in 2023, the United States has surpassed 400 mass shootings for the year so far.
So we're up at least what, 100 and 150? I think last year this time, but 300 and something. Well, there you go. So we were like at 300 last year this time. So you know what? Listen, we're going to say hello to a few people because they're coming in. We don't want to miss you if we can. But I definitely want to talk about your friend and family, Miss Carlee Russell. I'm giving her to you.
Oh, man, I don't want her. Anybody want her, they can have her. She ain't finna lie on me.
I'm giving it to you, black man. Don't throw her away right yet, but we're going to touch on it because homegirl has been charged. But we're going to get there in just a moment. So let's say hello to a few people. Primo, hello, sir. How are you? Thumbs up to you too. Sean, what's up? Black built like a conquering king. You know what? I got to give a shout out to Black today. Black man, you ain't going to believe this. You're not going to believe it. I just happened to be somewhere and I saw Black built like a conquering king in the comment section. And guess what he was saying?
What did he say?
He said, faith without works is dead.
It's dead.
But wait a minute, though. But understand this. So you got Black. I know you fight me right now, but wait a minute, Black man. Now remember, Black is the fairy tale guy. Remember? He the fairy tale. He the one where the book of history ain't no good, but he said faith without works is dead.
Maybe he's coming over to the side that he on tonight. So yeah.
Black, walk into the light. Black, come into the light. You know, they told her, don't come into the light. Walk into the light, Black man.
No, man. Yeah.
Bonjour, SVU. How you doing, Black? It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Lou, what's up? Dr. Steele, what's going on? J-Dub, hello. Clement, how you doing, Clement? I hope everything is good with you. Toontown, how are you? There is no Black community. Okay. We just hanging out then. Hey, JG. What's going on? Trey, you've been missing in action. I hope you've been doing very well, and it's good to see you. Ghost 1521. Yikes. Nothing. All right now. Listen, thank you guys for being here. It's so good to see you. T-Shaw, what's up? Wife School Podcast. Corey. Hey, Corey. Don GQ, I was never here. I get it. Me either. We just gonna hang out though, right? Don't tell nobody. That's how it goes. Don't tell nobody. Tayrus, hello. How are you, sir? He says, black man, you have an answer to your question. Well, a foresight. Let's see what he says. Thank you for your $9.99 super chat. He says, in 5 years, we're going to be using holograms to debate the same first world problems. We always debate because we spoiled Americans. We're not going to debate over here, Tyrus. We're going to have a conversation because we look for answers. We want solutions, actually. We do. Wouldn't you say so, black man?
Absolutely.
There's no debate with us, not at all. But wait a minute. What did Black say over here? This was a counter to Anton Daniels' BS talk. Oh, I don't even care who he was talking to. I could care less. It's the fact that you said faith without works is dead made my heart melt. So I don't care who you was talking to. Continue to talk.
You were preaching. Come on, Black Milk.
Continue, Black. Continue. Come on. Continue. I don't care who you talking to. It don't even matter. Continue to do so. And thank you so much for being here. But anyway, black man. Miss Carl. What's her name again? I can't even think of her name. We're gonna give her a good name. I'm trying to think of something else for her.
Yeah, I call her
let's just be real professional. Miss Russell.
Yeah, Miss Russell.
We are not on a first name basis with such young lady.
Lord,
she is really showing out. Miss Russell was found, wasn't found guilty yet. I already made her guilty, y'all. Was charged with 2 counts of what? Misdemeanors.
Yeah, she'd be at home.
Counts of misdemeanors, black.
Yeah, she's back at the house.
They said she falsified a story. We are, getting all the emergency people involved. And what was the second lie she told? Excuse me. What was the other charge she had?
A midget had kidnapped. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Was it a little boy came out the woods, jumped on her back?
Oh, we know the lie. I'm talking about the charge. What was the charge? The first charge was lying about an incident. I think that's what they called it, something like that. But the second was it just the Amber Alert thing, or what was it about? Something, another lie. It
had something to do with police work or something.
Oh God. So listen, black man, everybody else think I'm about crazy, or they think that my punishment is not sufficient for a 25-year-old woman, I guess. But listen,
what's your punishment?
I'm gonna tell you, they're saying that she has to pay $6,000 in fines and possibly a year, or maybe a year per charge. So it could be up to 2 years in jail. Now, even though she did some things that were really, really dumb, I don't think that she deserves to go to jail. I don't think jail can rehab the situation that she's going through. I think jail would make it. I think jail would make it worse for her. Don't you think? Think about what I'm saying. So this is what my brain came up with. I say, why don't we take away her internet, take away her phone, and all of her access to social media? And don't forget about the evaluation. Lay it on the couch because there is something wrong. What you think about that, black man?
I don't agree.
You don't agree? You want to put her in jail too?
Oh yeah, she need to go.
She's not a criminal.
She is a criminal.
She's a criminal now. If she's found guilty, she will be a criminal, right?
She's a criminal.
Y'all are heartless. You know that?
They liars, bro. They liars.
Black man, if we start putting people in jail for telling lies, isn't that a slippery slope?
It's a difference between a lie in your living room versus a lie nationwide. Nation lie was on her side.
You think she should really go to jail? Do you think jail would really rehab her?
It'll send a message. It'll send a message to the next one that want to do it. It'll send a message. And you have to make an example.
Atticus is on my side. See, listen, prison is about punishment, not about rehabilitation. I agree. See what I'm saying? They need to take that girl's social media away. Look, those 2 young ladies in those schools, they darn near beat those teachers down because those teachers took their cell phones. I bet you if we took away Miss Russell's cell phone, she would lose hair. I promise you she would. And no wigs. Wait a minute. No social media, no wigs, no nails, no makeup, no internet, none of that for 2 years. Come on. She will be a poster child.
She is now.
You think so?
Yes. You can't stop crazy by taking a phone. You're taking the phone, gonna make her more crazy.
No, but see, I think the phone and all this social media influence is what's causing this with these young people. This is my thoughts. Now, I could be wrong. She may really have something going on.
But she's 2 sandwiches away from being a picnic.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. She has absolutely. And she needs to go to jail. And somebody told me at work, she got split personalities. Well, both of them need to get locked up.
Black man, you're wrong for that. But listen, though, black man, listen. There's something really bad could happen to this young lady in jail, and she's not in my eyes, y'all. She is not a criminal. Now, I want her to be held accountable. I really, really do. Y'all don't think I don't. I don't like bad behavior. This was totally uncalled for. But first things first, I want to find out, is she totally sound, mentally sound? I want to find out. Secondly, I want to know where she was for them 48 hours, because I'm thinking she's trying to throw us off by saying that she was by herself because she don't want to get that somebody in trouble with her. Now, if that somebody be her mama, a family member, she trying to protect them. What you think?
Or some penis.
You think penis did that?
Absolutely. And if somebody broke her back down, she probably was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna create something." But either way it goes, she lied. She's not a criminal.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say she's a criminal, but she had everybody. You know what? Why I think she used to go to jail? 66,000 reasons why she should go to jail. It's because the police work they spent on her could have been used on the 66,000 black women who are truly missing and haven't been seen in years, months, days, weeks, hours. They could have been focusing on those young ladies between the age of 12, 14, 18, 20. And you took 48 hours of that time to focus on you because you're stupid. So she
okay, black man,
for that reason.
You making me feel like she needs to go to jail now, because yes. I wasn't putting all that together. I knew she did that, but I wasn't thinking about it at the time. You're right, because they are 66,000 black women and children that went missing.
Yes.
But listen, I think what would happen for me is when I find out where she was for them 48 hours, I think that would make me make my final decision. But I still believe that we could really do some in big justice if we took away their ability to have an influence of social media. I think social.
But if you don't go to jail, how you gonna keep her off of it?
Well, if she go to jail, they're gonna be sneaking it in anyway. You know they be doing. There's a bunch of criminals or prisoners in jail be doing the videos and rapping and all of that. They be on social media more than I do.
I couldn't be the warden, because soon as she comes through the door, hey liar, good evening. Hey, we got something special for you. Hey, put her in cell 13530 with Big Bertha. We're gonna get her together.
Listen, other countries have a way of monitoring their social media and internet use. Why can't we do something? I want to find out, though. I want somebody to tell us what that young girl was doing for those 48 hours. That's gonna determine for me whether she's a criminal or not, or is it in her, or just she was influenced negatively, or whatever. I need to know.
Security boss, women won't even tell you how many men they slept with. You think she's gonna tell you how many hours at 48 hours where she was? She's a lot.
They liars, bro. They liars.
It's got to be a part of her sentencing, or excuse me, she hasn't been found guilty yet. That has to be a part of her being found guilty. We got to know where she was for those 48 hours. Because, if she was in a hotel, we should be able to find it. It real easy. Like, she'd be all over the camera.
Here we go.
She wouldn't in no car because her car was on the side of the road. So that means she covering up for somebody, or something has transpired. I need to know. I'm with Trey now. Now, Trey, you said she's definitely a criminal. I understand what you're saying, because anyone who breaks the law is considered a criminal. I get it, but I'm just not ready yet to send her to jail. I would rather her be, get some kind of rehabilitation for the need to have that much attention, and take out, just get rid of the influence, because she got it bad.
Okay, let me say this. Easy Money Jones says, I wouldn't go that hard on her when there are deleters and apists in the pen. So what? You do the crime, you do the time. And on top of that, again, let me go back to what I said that pisses me off. 66,000 black women have become up missing for real. And they diverted attention to this woman nationwide. The whole United States paused and started having visuals and lighting candles, and people were taking off work to go search for this woman, and people lost work hours, PTO hours. And then just think about, the FBI was 2 hours away from from finding a girl who was really trafficked, and they took away from that 2 hours and used their resources to go find this idiot. She deserves to be in jail. Put her in there. I don't care what's it.
I see what you're saying, but I still don't see her quite as a criminal, not taken up for. But I want her to be different when she come out. I don't want her to be the same person. Some type of jail would be good, but I just think the most is if we take those things away from her. We just, I don't know. But she does. She needs to be locked away. I'm not saying just let her go free. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want her to be free roaming around here, being able to influence someone else. But I just think that when you say jail, I think of, rapists and things. Oh, excuse me, y'all, rapists and things of that nature too. And we don't want to. I wouldn't want something more to happen that shouldn't have happened. But and her still not be a better person when she comes out. She wrong, y'all. She is really, really wrong. But I want to hear the whole story.
Now, I want to bring y'all attention, courtroom, Your Honor, to a young man, Juicy Smollett. And Juicy Smollett paid 2 men to fake to beat him up. He said it was a MAGA hat. It was Trump supporters. They called him a nigger. They put a noose around his neck. And he lied about the whole thing. His ass went to jail. And so my thing is, if he lied and went to jail, why are we being biased toward this woman? She needs to go.
Did he go to jail? I didn't know he actually went to jail. Did he actually go?
They arrested him and put him in jail until his court date. They denied him bail. They denied him bail. They denied him everything. They put his ass in there.
Well, if that's what it is, if that's what it takes, then let her go. But is that going to help the situation?
Yeah,
I don't want you. No, I'm talking about all these other young people that are just waiting to do exactly what she did.
Right.
What you think about that?
She used resources, just like Trey just said. She said the state, she used all the state resources, security balls. This is severity of it. 50 states is in the United States of America. Everybody across the states and abroad, the people that were abroad were praying for her and having visuals in London, having visuals in Spain. And then you come over to the United States, everybody over here stopped, lit candles, praying, searching, printing out pictures, walking around stapling pictures, and she lied.
I agree with you. I am not saying that she doesn't need. I think she should pay all of it back. $6,000 ain't nowhere near enough for what she's done. I agree with that. I think it should be more money. I've said it from the beginning. She needs to pay back every bit. And actually, if we find out her parents are involved in it, they need to be a part of it too.
Especially her mama. Her dad are beta. But her mama,
listen, I agree with all of that. But I'm just telling you that I would like to see this girl be an example for someone else not to do something versus going to jail, doing the same thing she was doing on the outside as she was doing that she would do in the inside. Probably seeing some of her friend girls in there, all of that. That's what I'm trying to say. I want it to be a difference. I want her to be made an example of per se. I want her to be beat down or anything like that, but I want her to be made an example for her to know that she did something wrong. And I just don't know if jail would be what needs to happen for this young lady. I think it needs to be some other things added to it if we send her to jail. But right now it's a jail for up to 1 year, I guess, per charge, and $6,000 in fines. And I just don't think that part is enough for me.
All right. Now, I want to add this to the conversation. I think this is important.
Mm-hmm.
The House passed a bill today. Does anybody in the chat know what the bill was today? Do you know what it is, Mr. Security Boss?
Not today. Nope.
They passed a bill today that says if you don't call someone by their pronouns, it's considered equivalent to harassment and a hate crime, which will be finable by $10,000 and a felony.
Yep. You see that?
So you mean to tell me if somebody tell me if Brad tell me to call him Bathsheba, and I say, Brad, I can get a felony charge and a $10,000 fine, and this woman wasted federal time for 48 hours and getting a $6,000 fine and a misdemeanor and no jail time?
I don't think any of it's right, Black man. No, we're not comparing the two. It's not comparable. It's all wrong. Understand that. I agree. I don't think anybody's in agreement with it. These pronouns, come on, good and well. That's going to be a fight on the block if one coming. We know that's not going to be good.
And keep in mind, also, it's another crime. Her mama need to be locked up with her.
Well, that's what I just said. Mama and daddy, if we find out that they had something to do with that 48 hours, we definitely do. Now, do you think, and you can't make that call, but we need to find out if this young lady is mentally sound. We really do.
$63,000, Security Boss, is what they had on the GoFundMe. They asked for the GoFundMe money back. The mother refused.
Okay, see, that right there is very criminal. I think that's stealing. That, why you say it's the mama? Why not the young? Because the mama, the one who started it.
The mama started it.
And she's not giving the money back, black man.
And they asked the mother, because the daughter was missing. How she gonna start a GoFundMe? The mama started the GoFundMe, and they asked her for the money back. The mother refused.
Okay, black man, that is theft, because there was no cause for that GoFundMe to be even in place. Okay, you winning me over. Now listen, but I still want to know where she was for the 48 hours. I want to know, because let me tell you this. If all this comes to a head and we find out that her mama, her daddy, and herself and whomever else she called was conspiring to get this done, then I think all of them need to go to prison. Understand what I'm saying? I do. Every bit of them. Because I did. You just really went way. That's a scam. She scammed us completely at that point. But right now, I just want to sit back and just see what exactly did she do for those 48 hours, and to see if she's mentally okay. Because right now, but still, I don't want her to have any access to social media. I just think it should be cut away. But I think it was John the Baptist. He said, SB, come on now. That's what we do. That's what parents do to their kids. Not enough. Because right now, our kids, not mine, of course, but I know y'all all have younger kids. Y'all kids are going crazy behind these cell phones. They're beating up teachers. They're beating up people on the street, all behind cell phones. So there is definitely some sort of a spiritual attachment or mental attachment we have towards with those phones that needs to be dealt with. So I don't know exactly how y'all do that, but something needs to happen.
Right. I'm looking it up right here. I'm looking on CNN.com, guys. It says Crime Stoppers now says $63,000 raised in the Carlee Russell search not being refunded, says mother.
Now see, mama, that's a crime right there. That's stealing. All right, y'all, is she gonna get locked up for real? Black man, it seems like you would have to give the money back. What is Cash App saying? Or GoFundMe, whoever. What are they saying?
What they can do when you cash it out? That money gone.
Wow. She cashed the money out, black man.
That mama took that money out of there. $63,000. I just gonna let it sit in there? Because what can happen is GoFundMe can go and just take it all back and just send it back to the people it was sent to.
Correct.
She took that money up out of that account.
And she said she's not going to refund it.
She's not refunding a dime.
Okay, guess what? Miss Lady will go to jail. She will. What Trey says, one donor 25,000, another 20 got their money back. Okay, so 45,000 was returned to the appropriate people. So what we're looking at now?
So I guess they took it from the mama then.
So we're looking for 20,000 outstanding.
Yep.
So they hit a $20,000 lick for telling a lie, a 48-hour lie. Oh my goodness.
They liars, bro. They liars.
So y'all, we looking for that 20,000. I actually think I'm leading more to it now, Black Bear. She might need to go to jail.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you.
Mama, also.
I don't know who made Easy Money Jones cape, but he be caping. He he want to save all of them. Security about you can't save them. If this was a black man, nobody would be saying this.
Wait a minute. Easy say if they raise the money for the family, it's technically not fraud. What do you mean? It was Easy. The intentions, the intent. They lied. Come on, Easy. Stop playing.
I'm weird when I see these.
He's just lightening up the comments, I guess, because he knows better than that.
Oh my God.
Their intentions was bad. Easy. That means, oh God, yeah, they're going to jail. They're going, somebody, her and mama both.
And a split personality, whoever that alter ego is, she going to.
So they've already said she has a split personality.
It's what it sounds like. Anytime security boss, you have to be mentally deranged to make up what she made up. A baby on the side of the road, a man come out of the woods with orange hair. The baby and the man take her into the woods. They get into an 18-wheeler. They feed her Cheez-Its and granola bars, and she escapes the truck somehow. Gets out of the truck, gets into a car. Then after that, she passed out. Don't remember where she was. She woke up. She walking toward her mama house. Security about somebody talk to me.
I don't know. I have no. But black man, don't take away from the fact that she's just a liar and try to make it make sense. You get what I'm saying? There's people suffering with real mental illness, and if she just told a lie, which this sounds like just a lie to me, just a lie,
You know what? You know who I think she was with?
No.
I think she was with Easy Money Jones. I think he was hiding her. That's what I think. I think Easy Money had her over at the house, and he had her in the back, and he dropped her off. That's what I think, man. That's what I think. Easy Money had her. That's it.
I don't know who had her, but she should be made to tell the whole story. She should be made to come out and give us an apology. I don't necessarily agree with jail itself, but I do think she needs to be punished. Definitely.
Did you see her mugshot?
Oh yeah, I saw her smile. Look beautiful. She was beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Now, if she is mentally ill, I don't want to take anything away from her, but that story is crazy. And the mama not giving the money back don't sound right at all. And we got a missing 48 hours. We ain't gonna even get into the man with the orange hair with the bald spot in the middle, the cheeses, doing the nails. Wait a minute, black man, got out the 18-wheeler, got out the trailer to the 18-wheeler, got in the car and got away again. And then I didn't see the woman, but I heard the woman. And I didn't hear anything else about the baby. So how about that? She has a vivid imagination, right?
And see, that's why Easy Money dropped her off. You see what he said? He said, my wife wouldn't let me have a girlfriend, so he dropped her back off.
Okay. You playing if you want to. She might pop up at your door. You know how she like to get missing for 48 hours.
And lie
Listen, that's terrible. But anyway, we're going to wait and see what happens to Miss Carlee, or Miss Russell, I should say. Clement, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. Someone need to put Crawford in jail. Who is Crawford?
For the assault and battery he did on Spencer last weekend.
Oh Lord!
He come out the boxing match. Hey man, you know what? I think Spencer fell for the okie doke. He shouldn't have dropped weight. He should have stayed at 154.
What you saying, black man? He went to the left when he should have went to the right.
Yep, he should have dropped weight. He should have stayed where he always fight it.
Clement, that's the way to change the subject. I like that. But anyway, listen, guys. Tonight's topic is what is it? Did black men sell out their community? Black men, what you think about this? I sent you the video, right?
Yeah.
And did you listen to the video? Hello? What?
You know, back in the day when you watch Batman and they say kapow, when you see kapow going on the top of the head, kapoo, pow. So while I was watching the video, all I saw was simp. Want some attention, want some likes, want some attention, want some likes. I just saw it all around his head.
You're so silly. Listen, that young man, his name is Austin. And I think Austin, I don't know Austin's last name. I just started recently. I've seen him only maybe like 2 times on the Lapeef show, the Thursday night show, I believe it was. Yeah. And he's always, I mean, you know, he's advocating, of course, for ladies, for women. I guess he's probably in a space where we're a little hard on women. We want women to make a change. And I guess he's just, you know, I don't know. I'm not sure. But this is his video. We're going to play his video. But with that, this is what I want everyone to know. Over here, I advocate for men, but I love women and I want women to be the best versions of themselves. But one thing I found out is that women are not gods. Women are very much flawed. We do bad things. We say bad things. We have very bad behavior. And there's nothing wrong with being accountable for your behavior. Absolutely nothing. Actually, being accountable for your behavior empowers you. And it also keeps you from making the same mistake twice or 3 times or 4 times or 5 times. So actually what happens is ladies or women, young girls, all of us, female, however you want to call it, we mess up so much or do the same things often because we don't want to account for what we do. We actually want to blame somebody else for what we've done. Right. We always want to give an excuse instead of just standing in it, trying to figure out, why did I make this decision? What was wrong with me? What was I thinking? What am I lacking? You know, no self-reflection. We just always want to excuse the behavior and hope for better on the next. We got to stop, right? Mm-hmm. We got to stop. So with that being said, with this video, you guys, we're going to just have a conversation about this. And Austin said he's going to be watching. Maybe he'll decide to come up and let us hear it from him, what he's actually trying to say. But he had a good delivery. But the reality of it is we have to work together with our black men. That's just bottom line, bottom line. And that's just how it goes. And if we're not willing to work with our black men, that is a problem for a black woman.
Right.
Because I can't change a black man, but what I can do is I can be the best version of myself. Therefore, that will attract a better man, because it's like this. Well, gosh, SB's over there. She's speaking nicely to me. She has respect for me. She's doing this. She's crossing her legs. She she ain't got a booty all out. Da, da, da. So the presentation towards me may be a little different. So if every woman took on that type of attitude, then we would get a different result. Now, there are just going to be some group of people that are not going to change. Y'all got a name for them. Y'all already know who they are. So
They liars.
They're not going to change. So we don't even have to talk about them much. And I hate that we give so much credit or so much place to those people, because they are not going to change. Listen, Lady D, how you doing today? Carlee will be a lifetime member of Cynthia G and Queen Maker. Look at you, Lady D. I don't know what to take from that. Hey, Sherelle. Hey, Mr. Richardson. I'm not Lady D. I don't know what you're trying to say. Is that a good club to be in? The Lonely Girls Club or the Single Woman Club? They both are the same. When you're a lonely girl, you are a certain age, and then you become a single woman at a certain age. So Cynthia G and Queen Maker have accomplished both of those things. You want Carlee to be a part of that too? Hey, Lady D. I thought you had better plans for her. I want her to be rehabbed. So guess what, Black Man? Lady D want Carlee to be a part of Cynthia G and Queen Maker's crew.
Yep.
How about that? We might have to put her in jail for real, just to make sure she stays away from social media.
Yeah. So they're going to get her.
They're going to get her.
Oh, yeah. Queen Maker, she got her hat turned back. She trying to talk like, what's the man's name? The back in the day, the black author, I can't remember his name. But with my ladies, I don't do that with my ladies. My ladies, we don't do that. We don't submit to no man. They submit to us. They leave.
Lady D say, I love you, security boss, but it is what it is. Listen, Lady D, we got to talk to our ladies, our young women, and let them know that it's not, well, I can't give them an example of it, but I can imagine it's not fun being uncovered. You might have to do things like this for attention. You might have to do everything for yourself because you can't be cooperative enough to a man so he can actually see your value in you. But that's not how it's supposed to be. We were made for each other. Women, we have to get in place. Men, the men are talking to the men. The men are coming up. The men are doing what they're supposed to do. We just got to meet at a certain place at a certain time and get this thing together. That is my prediction for the next 5 years. Black man, what you think?
I think you got a lot of work to do.
What am I supposed to do? Oh, wow. What am I supposed to do?
I mean, every day somebody new showing up.
Praise the Lord. Look, you got to praise the Lord for that. I don't care about that. You know what? What I got is long term. I've been doing this for 28 years in November. I don't know how long Cynthia G has been a single mom. I don't know how long Queen Maker been making queens. I don't know. But I've been a married woman for 28 years. I was a single mom for a short time before that. I can tell you exactly how that went. I've been a married woman since then. I can tell you good and bad about all of that too. So if they got that same type of longevity, then great. But if they don't, I would say I'm going to go with the woman who's been doing it for the longest and see what's going on. If we want to compare apples to apples, I would love to compare apples to apples with any one of them ladies, any one of them, any given day. And actually, both of them together and just see who fares out the best. Everybody's situation ain't going to be mine. You got
to be careful how you say that now.
Why?
You say both of them together. Queen Maker a lesbian. She may think something else. So you got to use your words better.
Well, I definitely don't want
both of them together. She may be like, well, security boss, I like dark-skinned women. That's short hair. You know what I mean?
No, tell her I did not pass the paper bag test. No, you don't want me. You don't want me. I'm no good for you. None. Mr. Kimber, what's going on with you? Big boy, how are you? Listen, Mr. C, what's going on? Look, you don't want me. No parts of me. So anyway, y'all, listen. So we're going to have this conversation. We're going to work our way through this because this young man seems to think that Black men have sold out our community. Now, he says a lot of things kind of like what's Dr. Umar said, Mm-hmm. But Dr. Umar did mention that there was some systemic reasoning why men could not be as productive as we would have liked them to be. This young man did not mention that. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Black man, you ready to do that? Or you got some other things you want to talk about before we jump into it?
Let's get on him.
Okay, so let's go ahead and play the video, Mr. Boss.
Black men are the reason. The welfare state. Black men are the ones that sold us out. Black men are the ones that sold us out. I was doing some research. I'm writing a book called Marriages for Poor People. The key to building wealth is to get married. But let me tell you how the black men, in particular in our community, sold everybody out. Black women in the United States did not have any real political authority from the 1920s up until very, very recently in our history. Obviously, the facts prove this point. What I find interesting is that during the Great Society programs initiated by Lyndon Johnson, do you know who the staunchest supporter of the welfare program was? It was black men. It was Jesse Jackson. It was Billy Kyles. It was even to some degree, Dr. Martin Luther King has to take some responsibility. It is so funny that we don't understand how.
All right, y'all, let's stop right there. Okay, so let's go over just a little bit of things that he said, because some of the things he said, I kind of like. And y'all tell me what you think. Black man, you tell me what you think about it. Okay, so he said marriage is for poor people. What do you think about that, black man?
Obviously, he's not married. Would that be a correct assumption?
I'm probably so. He's probably not.
Yeah. You know, it's always the people. It's always the people that are talking about the Tesla that has never driven one. My thing is, marriage is not for poor people. I'm not a poor person at all. I do very well, and I'm married 14 years. So that's been debunked just with me. Security Boss, you and Mr. Boss, you do very well. What year are you in? 20 what?
28 November.
28 in November. Which now a male and a female on the panel right now on this platform right now has proven that wrong.
We have over what? We have nearly 44 years of marriage between the two of them?
Combined. Yes.
Yeah. So listen, I don't think he meant much about that, because he went on to say marriage is a way to build wealth. And I absolutely agree with marriage being a way to build wealth. From the beginning, y'all, I always tell young ladies that I think that it's very necessary that they build with their potential husbands, that they go in with the mindset of building, because a woman indeed is an asset. And I think that she needs to know that having a husband, being married, being a part of a nuclear family, that she needs to be an asset. So that would require building with that man. And marriage is a sure way to build wealth. And often you will hear people say most married men, older men, are married and they're wealthy. Most wealthy people are married people. So I don't really know the gist of marriage for poor people. But let me say this: if that was the case, I think that would work out really well. You know, if people who are of lower income or maybe living in poverty, I guess, you know, if they were to get married, that too would be and create wealth, because they could actually build together and see no need to live in that state. So right. Maybe that's what he meant. I'm not sure about that, but definitely married couples building wealth is actually a good thing. And I agree with that. I think everyone needs to know married folks have more money than single people. Y'all don't forgive me for that. Don't get mad at me, but it's just one of those things. I'm not saying single people don't have money, but just think about it, y'all. 2 versus 1. Hey, the numbers. That's all. Now, going on to the next part, he said Lyndon B. Johnson, with his economic, Economic Opportunity Act in 1964. You know, that was when he came in and decided to have all these different programs that would go against, you know, being poor. He put these, you know, there was going to be some laws against, you know, labor laws, discrimination, and all of that. He was going to make a way that poor people could actually survive, housing. They were going to be able to live decently and all of that. That's what that was, as far as Lyndon B. Johnson and the Economic Opportunity Act of 1964. Now, what he did say, though, is we were sold out by Black men, Martin Luther King a little bit, Jesse Jackson and all of that. Now, do you think that he could foresee that what that they knew what was going to happen by, how did he, tell me about that. What you think about that part?
This young man clearly needs a lesson in history. And I hope he come up here so I can give it to him. Because there's no way in hell that men who worked in the fields, who worked in and worked in shops, worked in metal shops, trying to take care of their families, and the nuclear family was at a high, it was at its peak at that time, are going to go to a white man who is the president and say, you know what? We as black men support what you're trying to do by kicking us out of the home. We're going to support you kicking us out. It's always been for the black. It's always been a bamboozle and a deceiving notion when it's dealing with the government and black people. Black people were told one thing, and they absolutely were given another one. Black people were told, after slavery, we're going to give you 40 acres and a mule. It's 2023. Nobody inherited it, right? We were told that we're doing an experiment to help people in their health, and they end up giving over 1,000 men syphilis at the Tuskegee University. So we're talking about different things that have happened. Black people have always been bamboozled to believe one thing. They'll sell them this thing and they'll do something else. It even goes back to Margaret Sanger, the lady who opened up Planned Parenthood. The first one she built wasn't in a white neighborhood. She built the first one in Harlem, New York, because she told the women, you have a choice. If you want to get rid of your baby, you can. And guess what happened? She was sterilizing these women so they couldn't have more kids because she wanted to abolish black children. And it's factual. It is written document. So, so the government can tell you one thing and they can absolutely do another one. So they probably sold these black men a dream. We're going to help the entire family. And when it was signed, the black men had to leave the house.
Okay, so wait a minute, black man. It's two comments I want to read. This first one is by Easy Money Jones. He says, also, we need to stop pushing this belief that nuclear families are the answer for anything.
It is the answer.
Wait a minute. We started losing once we got away from extended families. Nuclear families were the creation of the 1950s.
The nuclear family, I'm going to break this down. Let me break this down for Easy Money. I don't know if he flying over today. Easy Money said it said also we need to stop pushing this belief that nuclear families are the answer for anything. They are the answer. It is very important that a man and a woman connect with each other, and then and once they connect with each other, then comes love, then comes baby in the baby carriage. Remember that nursery rhyme? So now we get two men, not two men, a man and a woman together, they get married. Then comes love, then comes marriage, then comes baby in the baby carriage. If we follow that, the nuclear family is stronger than ever because we did what we were supposed to do to become the nuclear family. It is the foundation for everything, right? The extended family comes after the family. How can you extend a family if you don't have one?
Right there. So listen, Mr. Scotland's, I want to read Mr. Scotland's to Black Man too. I want to know if he understands. But listen, Easy Money. The traditional family or the traditional order of marriage, which is the nuclear family, has always been the blueprint of a successful life. It's always been that way. Whether you give reverence to your creator or if you're just people of high moral standards, whatever your position is, if you're a person of high moral standards, you got a woman pregnant or you married a woman, y'all had kids or whatever the situation was, that particular union would always prosper, because you were doing it in order. The children would always be, not always, I shouldn't say always, but it was more likely that the children would be productive citizens and they would carry on that in life because they saw that there was an example of man and woman in the home and the role of man and woman. When you say the nuclear family is not the answer, then seems like to me, you are alluding to the fact that a man and a woman are not necessary to even be in a child's life. That means I don't want to put no words into your mouth, but that actually means that you're saying that kids don't need examples of mother and father in order to be productive. That's what it sounds like to me, Black Man. If you're not pushing the nuclear family, which is mama, daddy, children, if you're not pushing that, then what is your blueprint to making this thing work. What are you saying? What can make it work for you? Now, the other comment that I wanted to read for Black man, I think it was Mr. Scotland says, Black man, move on, because B-Dub, hold on for a minute. He says, move on, Black man, move on. The B-Dub ain't your friend. Do you know what he's talking about?
I have no idea, but I want to know. Let me know, Gregory. That's my
Mr.
guy.
Scotland, yes. Could you please shine a little more light on that for us? But anyway, that is, you know, you have to have, and Dre is saying nuclear, then extended. How can you have, yes, you're exactly right. Because if you don't have a nuclear, you're not going to ever find grandma.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Exactly.
you're not going to find grandma. You're not going to find aunts and uncles because they didn't grow up together. There's not going to be something that goes on. It's not going to be that way. There's not going to be the relationships because there were never any relationships going in. So easy. If you got another way to get us to what, you know, we want to hear your opinion of that. That would be true. I want to hear what you're saying. I want to just, you know, kind of toss it up to see what you have to say. So Black man. So we're going to continue on with that. We're going to continue on with that.
All right. That's fine. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Funny that we don't understand how the welfare state really damaged us. The welfare state, which, by the way, simply closed the door on a bunch of Black men that had already left Black women behind. The welfare state literally told you, without question, that you are going to live being given a fish a day versus the government teaching you to fish a day. And welfare takes away a man's strongest reason for working, which is survival, and that weakens the will of the poor. The government set it up to where you could not get welfare, or if you got welfare, you could not try to truly advance yourself. You couldn't go to high quality schools and stay on welfare. You couldn't try to get a better job. You had to lock yourself into this mindset of mediocrity in order to stay on the welfare dime. And that damaged and destroyed the psychology of us as a people. And then you sit up here and you wonder, well, why did this happen? Well, what happened was that Black men and Black women who were already in the projects, they began to get, they got used to that consistent check. There was a woman in the 1980s. I was talking to Pink Pill about this. There was a woman in the 1980s that had 7 different kids by 7 different men and was bringing in $2,000 a month in 1990s or 1980s, 90s money, which at the time was a lot of bread. Now, I know y'all are going to get pissed at this, but what I'm getting at is the political leadership of Black men at the time led to the creation of this sort of mediocre mindset among Black women. And now we're still facing this problem today. It wasn't Black.
Okay, Black man. Now, Austin just said he said a lot of things. He talked about the way the welfare system has hurt the mentality of the Black community because with us being lazy and not wanting to go out and work and just accept a check, we have now accepted the mind of no expectations of us. We just want to accept the check and that's going to be good enough. So at this point, he's talking about a certain group of people. I'll just say it like that. Now, with also being said, he said there was a woman in the 1980s that had 7 kids by 7 different men. 7 different men. One woman, 7 different men. Right. And he blames that on the fact that the men had already left. And this is still going on today. Now, this is what really, really caught I was like, wait a minute, Austin, come on. This woman has decided, and we saw a whole graph about it, how women have said, the more children you have, the more money you make. And don't have them by the same man, because if you have them by the same man, you're not going to get as much money. So a woman in the 1980s chose to have 7 kids by 7 different men, and you're going to blame that on a man? And you're going to blame that on the mentality that men gave this woman? Come on. That's not, no. That was created by her. That came maybe from her mom or someone else, but there's nowhere where a woman has to have 7 kids by 7 different men. And I understand that he's trying to say that because they're getting this easy money per se and living this lifestyle of being assisted or incentivized, that they don't want anything more But you can't blame it on the man that was not allowed to live in the home. If there was any idea that a man was living there, then they could not receive the benefits. But we all know that there were no jobs. The men were being discriminated against as far as labor was going on. So they had to hide, they had to sneak around. They said that the men could not even be in the home. And there were what you call them, case workers that were doing way too much. But they would come, and y'all know what they would do, to come and find out if there was any evidence of a man in the house. And if there was, they would cut off all their benefits. Hey, Fifi, how you doing? They would cut off all their benefits. So knowing that that is going on, and knowing that the men could not be in this home, and knowing that the women that were availing themselves to these men decided that they rather have the check, rather not be married, get out, we're going to blame it on the man.
And it's planned. And see, it's two things here. You just said something. You said the men were discriminated against, but we also have to worry about what the women couldn't do nothing either. They didn't want the women in the workforce. They didn't want the women doing nothing. What they did was to say, you know what? To control the family, we know how to control the family by destroying it.
Man. Right. And taking the man out the home. Yes, yeah, I agree.
And you have to, and also you have to put into the fact that Black people weren't spread amongst the highways and byways and living in good neighborhoods and living in neighborhoods that were decent. No, they were redlined. If you don't know what that means, Mr. Austin, redlining means you take a particular people, a group of people, and you put them in one area, in one place in a city, and you throw them all in there, and then you take their resources, and then this in the result of that is what you're getting today: Black on Black crime, which we don't even say that no more. Crime at a very high rate. People taken from each other, right? Learning from their daddies who was denied a job. You know what I was watching the other day, Security Boss? I was watching Bumpy Johnson. You know who Bumpy Johnson is?
The drug dealer.
Yeah, Bumpy Johnson in Harlem, New York. He ran New York. And Bumpy Johnson wasn't a drug dealer always. Guess what Bumpy Johnson was? I watched this whole documentary.
I don't know that.
He went to law school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, before he even thought about drugs, went to law school. And when he got to law school, he had the grades to get into the school. He had the grades to get into college. And they racially profiled him and denied him. And he turned to drugs and became one of the biggest drug dealers in Harlem. What if you would have accepted Bumpy Johnson? Bumpy Johnson would have been lawyer Bumpy Johnson, not drug dealer Bumpy Johnson. He had it taken from him. And so he went on to do what he wanted to do with drugs.
So listen to this right here. Easy Money says also the belief that the welfare broke up the family is cap. Easy. It did. The man could not be in the home.
Where's he living?
And guess what, Easy? The divorce rate did not go up, but the marriage rate didn't either. They stopped marrying each other. It used to be a time where a man, even shotgun weddings had to happen. If a man got a woman pregnant, he had to marry her. In my parents' day, men did nothing but provide.
Exactly.
They did nothing but provide. I mean, of course, y'all know it was other men that did more things, but provision was the one thing that they did. That was the one thing they taught a man was, that represented a man, was provision. Marriage rates didn't go up because people were not getting married. No, the divorce rates didn't drop, but the marriage rate did not go up. But prior to that, people were getting married left, right. People were getting married. Guess what? Black families were successful. Now, they were successful in what they were doing. I'm not saying that they were wealthy, had a whole lot of money, but I'm saying like my granddaddy and them, they had their gardens, they had their homes, they took care of their families. My granddaddy provided for my grandmother. She had 10 kids.
Same here.
10 kids.
Yep.
They didn't receive welfare checks. They didn't do any of that. They did. My family didn't. My dad has always provided for us. We didn't have a whole lot of stuff, of course, but we were low income. But what my point is I'm making to you is that this is a group of people that could have opted out of the system also, but seeing that they didn't, the men could not be in the home with them. They couldn't. In order to receive those checks, they couldn't. And to go on to say that a woman opted to have 7 kids by 7 different men, and then not put any type of onus on her for 7 kids. Easy Money, what you talking about?
Hold on. And you know what? The thing is, I think Easy was not raised in the hood. See, and that's why I thank God I'm a millennial, because I was in between all of it, right? I was raised up in the country part of my life, and mama decided to go to the city, and we ended up in a bad neighborhood. Let me tell you what happened. My mama lived in a bad neighborhood. I used to hear women conversating when I was a teen, early teen. And I used to hear the women say, the man would come over, they be married. He'll come over, kiss her, make love to her, sit there and watch TV for a little bit, and then he would go back to his brother's house so she could get those benefits until he could find a job. He wouldn't stay there. I used to hear the conversations easy. I used to hear the man say, hey, baby, I love you. It wasn't no divorce. We're not talking about divorce. I'm talking about people who wanted to be together, but chose to live in separate houses so they could get the benefits. Because the man wasn't working. Some of those men were, especially in those small southern towns. Hell, in the town I'm from, hell, it wasn't enough jobs to even go around. You have to go outside of the town, 20 miles, 30 miles out to try to find work.
Well, Black man, even this, they've been scamming the welfare system from the beginning, been trying to figure out how they can make the most out of it. I'm not in agreement with that, because I happen to think some of the men, if the women would have gotten behind the men could have been quite successful in taking care of them and their children. But again, moving forward to the time that we're in now, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And when you have 7 kids, you know, what is good enough? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And statistically, well, not statistically, figuratively, let's break down the numbers. If you're staying in a home back in that day, and the government comes to your wife and says, I will give you vouchers to go buy food, and you don't need cash. I'm going to give you these vouchers to go get food stamps. He says that it's not the majority. That's a lie. I'm going to give you these vouchers to go get food, and you don't have to spend no cash out your pocket. Those women took those food stamps and said, damn, we ain't got to go. I ain't got to spend no cash. All I got to do is give them this piece of paper out this book, and they're going to give me free food? Okay. Right? Hey, Billy, stay your ass over at your brother's house. You don't come back over here. I'll come see you. Right? A lot of those couples wanted to be together. Right? But those benefits were too great. And then the money start coming in, we'll send you a couple of $100 a month for your kids.
For each one of them. So you can get another one. Let's get another one. And then listen, some parts of what he's saying is true as far as what it does to your mentality, because it does keep you poor. Mm-hmm. Because also with that, you can't make a certain amount of money or they take the benefit away. Now, I think that's a lazy, restrictive way of living, because you can go to school and learn something and supersede what the government is giving you. But if you've already put yourself with 5 kids, now what? Or even you got to go that far, 3 kids. That means you got to wait till at least the last child gets to be school age for you can actually go out and maybe learn some more, get an education, learn something to have a larger salary. Otherwise, you have to stay in this program. So he's right about that. But understand this, a lot of men wanted to be with these women, but the men could not be in the home with these women and also receive benefits. Now, I think that's crazy, because just because the men were there, they did not have enough money. Black men, you are exactly right. They couldn't make enough money to take care of a wife, a rent, and 3 kids and themselves. They really couldn't. It was not enough work out there for them. But again, this program, this Economic Opportunity Act that was put in 1964, it really didn't cover the Black American. It was basically welfare with the woman staying at home. No substitute dads could be there. No dads could be there. No one could be there. If there was a father in place, the benefits were cut.
Yeah, even to this day, if a woman calls right now and says, I'm applying for food stamps or I'm applying for Section 8, the first damn question they ask, where's the father? And now they got it where, oh, you want food stamps? Cool, we'll give you $500 a month. But we need to put your baby daddy on child support.
Yep, absolutely. Or even if they're paying the child support, he has to pay it back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even and they could be together. I'm talking about no divorce. They together. She just up that line. A lot of women had to lie to kick it.
Yeah.
Right. And so
still lying to get it.
Still lying to get it.
Yeah.
And a lot of women lied and said, yeah, I don't have no man in my home. Well, now they got smart on them. Oh, okay. Well, the father's not in the home. Good. Because if he were, you won't be able to get it because both of you guys combined, you make too much money to get.
Right.
Food. Right?
And then too, the system has grown so large, we don't have enough people, they don't have enough caseworkers to be popping up, checking to see what's going on in your home.
Exactly. So now they want to know, where's the daddy? Oh, his name is Black Man. Oh, okay. What's his social? Do you have that? Oh, we're gonna go ahead and put him on child support for you.
Exactly. This is true. So Austin kind of lost me on that one. But again, we're beyond blaming. We should be beyond blaming and time. And it's time now to fix it. It's time to have some solutions to the issues. Because again, as a woman, it was my role to be behind my husband or the man who I had children by. He was supposed to marry me. Back in 1964, that was the time when a whole bunch of shotgun marriages was going on. Or people were marrying because they did impregnate the woman or what have you. I'm not saying that it was right, but a lot of people in the South, you had to marry these kids, these women. You wouldn't go. There was no leaving, running away. You had to marry them, and y'all had to figure it out together.
Yep, you would either get shamed or get your ass whooped.
Something like that.
By the men in the community. Absolutely.
Something. Right.
Absolutely.
So even though this stuff was going on, I don't think it was not the majority of the people during that particular time. But like you said, moving forward, 1980, 7 kids, 7 different fathers.
That's a choice she made.
And that's still going on right now today.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not holding the woman accountable for that, because she could be right there in that state her whole entire life, never work, never seek to further herself in any way. And, right now, I guess they're going after the fathers more so than they were back then. But, this is who she is. And we are not holding her responsible for the breakdown in the Black community. These children have no father probably present to give them a balance to what a woman and a man should look like in relationships, or even how to behave in public, or to go get an education, how to show up in school, how to interact with other people. None of that stuff is happening. So then we got these kids that are going to school, beating up the teachers, stealing shoes. You remember there was a thing back, it was longer than that, probably about 10 years ago. They stealing kids' shoes off their feet.
Yep.
Stealing Jordans, things of that nature. What kind of child does that? Who does that? So anyway, hey, Ricky, what's going on with you? Hey, Anissa, I saw you also. Mr. C, good to see you too. So
hold on, easy money. Listen, not only was I raised,
good to see you.
Yeah, not only was I raised around these people, easy money. I used to work. I got a job up there when I was in my early 19, 20. I went before I started selling cars. Well, I'm telling you that some of the things that these women will do to get those benefits will amaze you. And it's a lot of them. And I'm not saying these women were bad, because these women was with their men. I'm not talking about the divorce rate. I'm talking about women who were in healthy relationships, who manipulated the system to get benefits, to get housing authority. Imagine living in a 4-bedroom. Let me tell you something. Queen Smiley is on here right now. We have a place in Louisiana where we're from called the West Housing. And in the West Housing, you get you can go get housing authority, and you paying 50 cents a month for a 4-bedroom house. You can't tell me they weren't benefiting from not having a man there. Imagine having 50 cents in your water bill, $1. You just, I've been around it. I grew up around them. I've been around. I've seen it for myself. Queen Smiley in the chat right now. She'll back me up. I've been around my whole life.
It makes you want to ask, what is it that you want? If you don't want to be married and you don't want to be with the men, and this is the kind of life you want to be taken care of this way, then, it's not going to, it should be a plush life. Should you just get all the luxuries of life for free? What are we thinking? It should only be for a temporary situation. It should never be for a person's entire life. It should never go from generation to generation to generation. It should never be that way. There should be some things put in place, but guess what they do? They'll go have another baby right before the time limit comes, and then they'll get it again. Now you got a new child.
Right. And now I'll say this too. I'm gonna step on over here with the women real quick and say something about the women. Right? The women would get jobs and they will make minimum wage at their job. And then as soon as the manager say, you did a good job, we're going to take you from $7.25, we're going to get you to $10. As soon as that check hit $10, they cut her off food stamps. That's why when you say the women don't want to get better and they don't want to do better because they're going to make $3 more by where their food coming from when they got to pay bills. So now housing authority is going to drop, food stamps is going to drop. Now I got to pay regular rent, $400, $500, $600 a month. Now I got to pay a grocery bill that's $500, $600, $700 a month to feed my kids. I have no food stamp, no authority. I'm not finna tell these people I'm getting no raise. I'm going to a job that's gonna pay me $7 an hour, and I'm gonna get this government funding.
Or you're gonna lie your way through your life.
Lie.
Okay, so guess what? Should we put you in jail for telling a lie once we find out that you've been
absolutely.
the federal government? All right,
yeah, that's right. They're going straight to jail.
Do they? Do they?
Ugh.
Do they?
Ugh.
There you go. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's continue on with the video.
Men at the time led to the creation of this sort of mediocre mindset among Black women. And now we're still facing this problem today. It wasn't Black women that sold us out. It wasn't Black women that created this mindset.
Moment.
It was the failure of Black men.
Men led to this creation of this mediocre mindset of the welfare state. The poor mentality. Men led this. Men don't even benefit from this. Men can't even live in this state, but they led it. They caused it. In other words, was that a good word? Am I putting words in his mouth? And then they don't even get to partake in it.
Yep.
But they caused it. And now the women living in it, and they just so dearly want to get out of it. I can tell.
And look at Trey. Trey just said it. He said, you can put her in jail. But see, that's what I'm saying. It's a domino effect. You put her in jail. Now you got to put her 3 kids in child protective services. Now the state got to pay more money to take care of the kids and child. So there's no reason to put her in jail. There's no consequences. Trey, thank you. There's no consequence. Even if she get caught, there's no consequence. They say, damn, we put her in jail. We got to put them 3 kids in the system, and we got to take care of them now. We got to.
But you know what? You're exactly right. There's no consequences for defrauding the federal government that way. But guess what? Those convenience store owners or those grocery store owners that take the food stamps, and do wrong things with them, they have to shut down their businesses. They will go to prison for receiving those benefits falsely under false pretenses. They will go to jail.
Oh my God.
They do. There's a lot of them. A lot of those local, you know how you might have the local convenience store, the local grocery store. What they do is they buy food stamps. So I don't know exactly how it's done, but many of them have done that and defrauded the federal government behind the food stamps and other things and had to close their businesses down and go to prison. But I don't think the mothers or whoever did it, I don't think they did.
And let's not forget, this pandemic just passed. Security boss, women were getting $3,500, $4,500, $5,500, $7,500 worth of food stamps.
You are so right.
Come on now.
I remember. Yes, and it got more for every child. And guess what? If they were unemployed, they got an additional $600 a week.
Security boss, it was up to almost $1,100 a child. Imagine the women who had 7, 8 kids.
Wait a minute.
There were women, security boss. I was at church, and some of the women came to the church to donate food because they had so many foods that they couldn't get rid of. The security boss, they gave them a huge lump sum of food stamps, $7,000 food stamp, and they continued to get their monthly stamps as well. So the women would come up there, and we would go to the store. You can look on the receipt at the bottom. It says ending balance $6,516.13. I say, God damn.
And food stamps.
And food stamps. That was during the pandemic. Everybody was balling. The grocery stores were empty.
Wow.
What are we talking about?
No, you got to ask the question. Did Black men sell out their community? You got to ask the question now. Where was the Black man when all that was going on? But I had forgotten about per child, all that money that they were getting.
$1,100 per child.
I remember the $600 per week because a lot of that was fraud, and we have had to answer a whole lot of unemployment cases due to that. So that was fresh on my mind. But I forgot about each child. Wow.
And guess what, security boss? Not only were those women getting those stamps, they were selling them, getting cash.
That's the part. That's the part right there.
Come on. They was getting the cash they was getting the cash money. Cause remember, they was sending out stipends for the kids too. So they was getting cash and food stamps, and then they would take them food stamps and say, "Girl, I'll give you." I forgot how the food stamps buy and go. I think if you can get 400,
half for half, isn't it? Isn't it like
it's half,
something like
yeah,
that? Yeah.
yeah, and they were selling them, getting more money.
And we still got to ask the question: did Black men sell out their community?
No, ma'am. No, man, because when you offer a woman something like that, all these men talking about women are hypergamous. If you offer a woman $7,000 in food stamps and continue her monthly food stamps, pay her mortgage, pay her rent. Even in Texas now, they're giving women cars.
Well, I know they're giving them. You said that once before. I know they give them rides, but you did say they're actually giving them cars now.
And now they're trying to take them out. There's this Black lady that's over it. She said that statistically speaking, when you think about a woman that's on government assistance, you think about her living in bad neighborhoods. Security boss, they're starting to build places in the white areas, predominantly white areas. They spreading it out now. So now these houses, security boss, I'm telling you, my brother came here looking for somewhere to stay with his wife. And they said, we're going to start with an apartment first and build us a house. We went look at them apartments, and the woman asked his wife, do you have your Section 8 with you? My brother said, we don't have no Section 8. She said, oh, I'm sorry, this is Section 8 housing. Security boss, when I tell you those damn houses like condos, wood floors, sparkling wood floors, beautiful bathrooms and sinks and islands. I said, this is beautiful, this Section 8. Oh my God.
So let me tell you something. Where I'm at, Section 8 can be anybody's house.
Yes.
We've owned several Section 8 homes, some homes that we did Section 8 with. It could be anybody's house, y'all. It could be a 5-bedroom, 3,000 square foot house. It could be any house. Section 8, if I'm an owner of a home and I want to let my house go through Section 8, all I got to do is have them come out here and inspect it. And they'll tell me exactly how much money I can charge per month for rent. And guess how it works? If you got air conditioning, they give you credit for having air conditioning. They give you credit for having carpet on the floor. They give you credit for how many bedrooms you have. They give you credit for everything you want. And as long as it passed the inspection, then you can have your Section 8 home. Could be anywhere. It could be in a gated community if that community allowed you to rent your spot. It's no longer a particular place. It's no longer a project. Section 8 has nothing to do with that anymore.
And T. Shaw, she in the same city I'm in. T. Shaw just said it. I forgot about that, T. Shaw. Not only are they giving them cars, they giving them gas vouchers. So they ain't got to worry about the car. They ain't got to worry about gas. They don't have to worry about food. They don't have to worry about housing. They don't have to worry about their kids getting hurt or anything. They got medical insurance. She's gonna have medical insurance. How could men set this up for the women to get all that and we don't get anything?
Well, Black man, I got to tell you the one more last thing, and this is the craziest. When me and Mr. Boss was doing this, you know, they made us come and cut the grass on one of our, I lied to you not, she complained. They made us come and cut the grass of one of our homes that was Section 8. I'm not lying. We had to go cut the grass.
Wow.
Now, I can tell you the one benefit for Section 8, all you landlords, the one benefit is you get your money like clockwork. Now, the ones that we had, the tenant only had to pay like $200 for herself, and they paid the remaining amount. You get your money like clockwork. But I'm telling you, if they complain about anything, that landlord has to take care of it. We had to mow the grass.
Right.
Now, that was a part of the plan. You live in a house, you mow the grass. You don't get the people down the street around the corner to come and mow your grass unless you're paying them. We had to mow it in order for the inspection to be good. We had to mow the grass.
And I'm gonna say this, like David Milner just said in the chat. He said, "What real man is satisfied having the government or
take care of his family?
Take care of their family?" No, I'm gonna give you none of them. And let me tell you why. The reason why because the man, say for instance, you making $14 or $13 an hour, or $10, $11 an hour, and you go in there and you tell your wife, "Baby, okay, we almost where I can pay the rent. We almost where I can pay the car note. We almost where we getting there. We getting there, baby. Just gotta trust in me." And then the government come and say, "Girl, the hell with him. We're gonna give you a car. We're gonna pay for your gas. We're gonna pay for your food. You'll never be hungry. We're gonna put you in this nice, beautiful ass house over here with Section 8. What do you need him for?
You won't. A woman would say, especially if he is trying to be the leader of the family, trying to get them from point A to point B. She won't see value in that. They won't, because of course they want it easy. So listen, let's do some super chats, and we're gonna play this remainder of the video.
Okay.
So we can we playing the video first? Okay, so go. We're gonna play the video first.
Facing this problem today, it wasn't black women that sold us out. It wasn't black women that created this mindset. It was the failure of black men to stand up in mass for the black community, and that is the key problem. It's black men's fault, not women's. You dig?
Okay, he said it was black men in mass. The majority of black men did not stand up. And that's why this mindset was created by our black women, that's his position on the situation.
I'm going to take something from Malcolm X because I think he's needed right now in this conversation.
Okay, bring Malcolm back.
Malcolm X said, how is it possible that a black man can stand firm with his brothers when you've already taken his shoes off and have him walking on the floor with broken glass? This is ridiculous. You set men up to fail. And you want men to stand in their failure and tell the government what to do when these black women have some of those black women say, I love you, Willie, but I'm a holler.
Willie, you know we need money. Now, how about this? We know that the major plan, the major plot was to break down the nuclear family, to break down the black family, because they saw that the black family was working very well together. They were accomplishing a lot of things. 1950s. Daddy was in the house. People were being married. Children were productive. They were building gardens. They was doing what they had to do. Had their businesses. Even y'all talked about 1920s banks and stuff like that. The black people were prospering. But then here we go. Around the 1960s. Now we got an issue. We got to be on this welfare program that was supposed to be put in place because of the economy, the Great Depression, all these things. It was supposed to help everybody, but y'all know what happened. But I'm not going to let y'all be responsible for the decision making, the mentality of a woman that will put out her husband and say, nah, I'd rather get this check, but you can come in, we can still do this. We can still do this, but I don't trust you enough to be with you. I don't believe in that. See, I'm dead set against that. Women, we have to trust our men. We have to trust our men, especially if we've picked them to the point of making 3 babies with them. We got to trust them. We have to go along with it, and it's going to work out if you work together. But if you decide that you would rather have the food stamps, the apartment, whatever the man has said you're supposed to have as an incentive to stay single, then that's on you. Now, guess what? Now you ask these girls, do you want to be married? They'll tell you real quick, no. How about this? I'm gonna have a baby by choice. I don't need the baby daddy. What? Wait a minute. What you mean?
Single,
have a baby?
Yeah, single mama by choice.
Single mama by choice. Come on, black man.
The men did. Yeah, okay.
Austin, come on. I understand what you're trying to say, Austin. And I'm not trying to particularly blame anybody for anything because it's time to come up out of this. But the women need to take accountability for what we have done. And that's the bottom line. Women need to take accountability for what we've done and the decisions that we continually are making.
Dearly beloved.
If we don't want to be mamas and we don't want to have husbands and things of that nature, we need to stop having these kids, y'all. We need to stop bringing these kids into this world, knowing that we don't really want these children, especially the boy children, and then we reproducing what we say we don't want.
The only way to stop that, security boss, is to cut it.
What you mean? Cut what?
No more housing authority.
Oh, okay.
No
Okay.
more food stamps. No more
Gotcha.
nothing. And I guarantee relationships will blossom. I bet that divorce rate it'll pause because women will know, damn, if I leave him now, she ain't getting shit.
Well, you know what? I agree with that. I've said a long time
Absolutely.
ago that we should actually incentivize marriage. That should have always been the thing. Marriage should always have been incentivized because there was not enough money, or black men did not have good jobs back then. There was not enough money. We all was poor,
Hey, yeah, because Easy Money Jones said he threw a bomb. It wasn't a bomb. I'm going to throw a missile. He said, so I'll throw this grenade. If all it took was welfare in Section 8 for black women to ditch black men, what good were black women getting from black men? Men were out working easy money. I know you probably I grew up in a 2-parent home. I'm not going to say what you grew up in. I saw my daddy struggle. I did. I saw my daddy struggle. I saw my daddy walk around the house with a smile on his face and I saw him go get in that green Buick in front of my house and punch the steering wheel because he felt like a failure. He felt like I couldn't do for my wife. I can't do for my kid. My daddy would sit there and just punch the steering wheel, just screaming and holding the steering wheel because he wouldn't do it in front of us. I had to catch him. He wouldn't do it in front of us, but he would do it in the car because he knew he was struggling. Men were struggling. I don't know why we forgot about how hard it was for men to get jobs. For men
Black
to get
man,
jobs.
because he didn't live in that time. It's very easy to forget about something you've never ever seen in your life. Listen, we say this often. I think we say it often. We should. I think it. What we got going on now doesn't build any type of character. Everything is right here, microwavable, and everything is right here at your fingertips. The way that we live right now, come on, ain't no struggle going on here. You can get whatever you want really quick, and all the way down to drugs being delivered to your mailbox. You get what I'm saying? There's no struggling going on right now. There's no character being built. There's no wisdom being learned here. There's nothing that is going to make you a better person that is going up there. Guess what else? And this is what really gets me, is that you have people who have gone through things like that. Yourself, you said you saw your dad go through and you saw how he was felt like he was losing the situation, but it always worked out. You have that story and that example to tell another young person, but guess what they'll tell you? Nah, just keep that story to yourself. I got it.
Yeah.
Because they either think that they're smarter or they'll never have to go through a time where they will experience lack or
security boss. Let me tell you something, how something just really rubbed me the wrong way. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna send it to y'all because we gotta talk about it. There's this black man that did a documentary. I was, I always watching docus, and I forgot which one it was. It was a humbled something. I forgot what it was. He went to school for engineering way back in the day when it wasn't popular for a black man to do it. And he got the job in, I think it was chemical engineering or something like that. He got the job at the factory. He went in happy, proud, knew he was gonna make money for his family. He walked in, they say, you're hired. On his way out, they say, stop by the front office and get your uniform. He said, I don't need a uniform. I'm just going to wear my regular.
I know what you're talking about. They hired him as a janitor.
They hired him as a janitor.
Yes, I remember that. They hired him as a janitor.
They knew his credentials. They knew he graduated college in chemical engineering, and they hired him as a janitor. That man cried like a...
Yes, I remember. I remember that. I can't remember what it was either, but I remember that.
And men supposed to stand up and you go to school and work your ass off for 4, 5, 6 years in college. You get out and you got a chemical engineering, and they hire you as a janitor because of this color of your skin. This is the black men. This is how the black men. This is how we fail. This is how we sold out the community. Okay.
No, listen, Dre, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat. He says B-dub equal black woman. Wow, y'all are so smart. Y'all, back then, you remember I told you it took me and Mr. Boss like a whole week to figure out what BW was?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, what are y'all talking about right now? Mr. Scotland, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. He said, if he spoke to Pink Pill, that is scary. Do we know who Pink Pill is?
She's a divester.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you know what? I had a divester come into the comment section today, and she made some comment about something about divesting, and I felt like that doesn't really matter what you're saying, because you still need to be the best version of yourself no matter where you're at, no matter who you're dealing with. Because if you go over to a Caucasian man, Hispanic man, Asian man, whatever your preference is at the time, and you mistreat him or you're not doing what you're supposed to do as a woman, he will kick you out real quick. I mean, why wouldn't he? He's looking for a woman, a lady, and a wife.
Yep.
If you're not doing that, just because you black, he's supposed to just play along. Is that where we at? Is that what we're thinking? No, that's not going to work. You're a wife. You need to be a wife, no matter who you're with. That's your role as a woman. And if you can't show up that way, I bet you any amount of money, them men will kick you out really quick. Really quick. Being black, she said something about the paper bag test. That's why I said that. I was like, wow, this chocolate skin has never kept me from getting anything. And she said something about divest on the other end of it. I'm thinking, what are you, girl? I'm 28 years in. You can't tell me nothing about this. What is wrong with you?
They don't respect it.
But it has nothing to do with that. You got to show up a wife. You got to show up a lady. You can't show up What does divesting even mean? You going to the other side of what? Of what? You still dealing with a man. You're still a woman. Let it go. Go with your preference, which I don't mind. I mean, whatever. If you loving a Hispanic man, some of them swirly ones look really nice. I can't take it from them. But I still got to show up the wife or the lady, you know, the woman I'm supposed to be. You know, I can't go over there chopping their heads off, trying to tell them what to do, controlling them. I can't be no less of a woman with someone that is not a black person, a black man. I have to still be that woman. So I just thought that was crazy that she said that. So anyway, moving right along. D-Mac, thank you so much for your $20 super chat. He says, how can anyone who breathe think that a solid family home is not the strength of the community? Easy had fallen off a chair. It's okay. He's sitting back up now.
Yeah.
He's back. Without a man in the home, it will lead you to the destruction of community, which is what we see now. D-Mac.
Exactly, man.
Thank you, D-Mac, for being here. And I hate you had to say that. Easy, I hate D-Mac had to be here tonight. You fell off the chair, but he's here and he understands exactly what's going on. I don't know what Easy was talking about. I think he just wants to troll a little bit in the comment section. But we got him back on track. Don't you think, black man?
Yeah, because Easy, he just said, I spent half my childhood in a single parent house. My mother worked 2 jobs just to be broke. She wouldn't take welfare or anything else. We made it, but I never wanted my kids to go through that. Easy. Imagine if your father was in the picture.
Oh my God.
There wouldn't be 2 jobs for your mama. Imagine if your daddy would have stayed and stuff. Your daddy was in the picture. Whoop. Nuclear family is important.
It's very important. That's the blueprint of that's the blueprint of our foundation. That's the principles. That's it. And we're not looking for perfection from the man nor the woman. It's just that's the order. You get the order, then okay. Let's go to the next one. Is this the same one again? Oh, D-Mac says, how can any? That's the same one.
That's the same one.
All right, so D-Mac, you get the money line.
Give me mine. Going up, money line. I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline. Dearly beloved.
So, John the Baptist, how are you, John? Thank you so much for your $10 super chat. If we are believers, then there is no black or white community. We are all believer. Okay, there is no white heaven or white or white heaven.
Black heaven or white heaven. Yeah,
okay, gotcha. So there is no black community to sell out. Yeah, that was interesting, but I think we understand. We all are part of one race, the human race, but the ones with the darker melanin in their skin is the one who kind of conjugate together, and those were the ones he was talking about. But again, this could be an issue somewhat an issue in a white community also. I don't know what they will be blaming it on, but it could be the same. All right, Big N. Hey, SB, I'm back. I was kidnapped by a black man up there. What did black man? What you mean?
I don't know.
Big N.
I don't know.
I'm glad you back, buddy. I'm so glad you back.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Ed, for your $10 super chat. Mr. Richardson, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. He said, I had to stop my workout for this. What got your attention? My mother raised 5 kids at our father passed away, period. She worked for General Motors for 33 years and always taught us to never depend on the government or the system. Oh, man. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Not every woman, not every family was subject to the welfare system. Yep. Not every black couple, not everybody was. There's a lot of us that were not. I'm thinking it's a small portion of individuals that were subject to it, and they got caught in the system. A lot of them tried to scam the system, are continuously trying to scam the system. Lady D, though, said that she was a caseworker and she often blew the whistle on them and actually got them out of the system too for lying, cheating, and things of that nature. So everybody knows it's going on. Thank you, John, for your thought. I'm sorry, black man. Go ahead.
I said some good ones out there. They can manipulate that system well.
Wow.
There's some good ones.
Okay, so who's to blame for that?
It's
if
us.
the black woman is getting the assistance and the black man is not even allowed to be anywhere near the assistance, so how is he creating that mindset in her to manipulate that system?
Oh, I don't know, security boss. It's the
now
black
listen.
man. We did it.
Listen, I got to be honest with y'all. I used to think too that. Wait a minute, let me read this super chat, then I'll tell y'all. Thank you to John for the $5 super chat. He said, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities." Ephesians 6:12. You're exactly right. Thank you, John. So listen, when I was a youngster, actually, I had just recently got married. When I first got married, I used to think, and I know this is going to sound crazy, I might have said this before, but I used to think old people and women, y'all, didn't tell lies. Well, let me say it a little different. I knew young women would tell lies, but older people, I didn't think that they would tell lies. Let me say, I held older people in high regard. I really did when I was first getting married. I was driving down the street. Me and Mr. Boss had gotten a brand new Volkswagen Jetta. It was a champagne color, right? And we were stopped at a light, and this older man came and just hit the car. I'm thinking, I'm jumping out the car. I'm okay. The car's fine. It's got a little scrape against it and whatever, I'm running over there to him. "Are you okay?" Da, da, da. He said, What you talking about?" And he commenced to drive off. I'm like, "What? You did what?" Y'all, I reacted badly. I put my hand in the window and grabbed the man. I'm like, "Where you going?" He was like, "What?" I was like, "You just hit my car." He said, "No, I didn't." Yeah, he said, "No, he didn't." All his paint from his brown Astro van were all up and down the side of our car. We had just got the car. He sit there and looked me dead in the face, and the police included, and said, "I didn't do that." And the policeman said, "Sir, it kind of looked like you did. Like all the paint, from your vehicle is on the side of the car." He said, "I don't know what you're talking about." Do y'all know that he did not have to pay for that incident? He did not. So from that moment, I knew then that this world was corrupt, because I used to think that old people just didn't have a need to tell a lie.
They liars.
Why would you
bro,
lie as
they
an old
liars.
person? Why would you lie as an old person? What is the reason? You done lived your life. You wise. You ain't tricking. You ain't scamming nobody. You good. You got enough money. You being taken care of. Whatever the situation is, you should be living good. Whatever. You might make a mistake or whatever, but what is you lying for? He sit there and told the police, "I ain't do that." And he did not have to pay for my vehicle. I was so sad. Yeah, I was so brokenhearted to see that this man told his lie. I was so brokenhearted. My husband was like, I said, "I just didn't think old people would lie." My granddaddy wouldn't no lie. He might have been a liar. Yeah, I didn't know. But for ours, I was concerned. Older people did not lie. But I found out about women a little bit before that. I found that women, because I used to think women were very precious. My mom was one of these, what y'all would call a sedity. She was one of, y'all heard of sedity titty. My mama would have been one of them sedity women. And she was just so prim and proper. She wouldn't take much to do with much, right? So I just kind of based everything off of the way she thought, my grandma, my granddaddy, and the way people, so I always thought that women just held themselves in high regard. And I want women to hold themselves in high regard. It's just certain things. So to see women getting high, to see women with a cigarette and a joint and drinking a beer and all that, going on, it was like, whoa, okay, ladies. Right. It was just funny to see. I'm born in the South, y'all. I'm real country, y'all. I know y'all probably like, SB, you crazy. Look, I'm telling y'all, it's crazy. But it was truly stop, Mr. Boss. I love it. Lady D, guess what? He was not a black man, Lady D. He was a white man. It was a white man that hit my car. But listen, y'all. So I used to just hold women, and I just thought women were to be adored. This pretty ladies, blah, blah, blah. I didn't see. I was, after I got married and went to another side of town and did different things, hung out with my husband a lot. I used to go to club, y'all. I used to dance a lot and stuff like that. But I just didn't see. Yeah, I just didn't see that type of woman that would just do what men do. When we were younger, we had that thing where men would do certain things and ladies would do a certain thing. And a lot of us still had that same mindset. Y'all would say, ladies don't do that. We'll say that in a minute. But guess what? The lines now have crossed. My eyes have been totally open. Wow. Women and men are now, ladies will do the same thing that men will do. And, men won't do what ladies do. But anyway, I'm just telling you, y'all, that for me to say and to push women being adored and being ladies and prim, proper, modest, I'm going to always do that because I think that's the way women should be viewed. I don't think women should be viewed as dudes, aggressive, masculine. So I'm always going to be on that side. So y'all just bear with me. I'm always looking for that spot in a woman so that lady can come out. Sometimes I feel like they never had an example, or they grew up with rough masculine women that cursed and talked about their body parts and stuff like that throughout their life, and they just haven't seen a different woman. So that's why I do and say the things that I say. Forget
Absolutely.
it. So, Mr. Milner, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. He says the case for the nuclear families is self-evident and requires structure, commitment, and a purpose-driven mission of legacy. There you go. Women are openly rejecting and choosing rebellion over an intact family. They absolutely are. Wait a minute. Let me say that once more. Let's say that last part again. Women are openly rejecting and choosing rebellion over an intact family. Lady D, this is the message that you have to put out to the young ladies. I know, Lady D, that you have had your encounter.
Look what she just put.
I didn't see it. I can't see it right now.
She said, I don't feel a black woman can do no wrong.
See? Oh, Lady D. So Lady D, you've seen some stuff though. You've been in these spaces. You've seen women act completely out.
Liars, bro. They liars.
I knew women could do wrong, but I still saw women as a certain type of person. I didn't think women would. Man, y'all, to see a woman get high to smoke a joint, I about fell out my chair. I was like, what you doing? What? It's just that we were taught not to do those things. And just to see it, it's almost like, wow. But Lady D, this is what this is what I am going to continue to do. Women, we have to be covered. So that's the message we should be pushing. We shouldn't be pushing a message of queen makers when we know that we are not leading that queen life. We're not leading the life that we are examples for other people. When we know we out there doing wrong, when we know we're not preserving ourselves for our husbands, when we know we're not respecting men, shoot, a lady, right now, women are not even honoring men that would ask them to marry them. We got the lady at the altar. She can't even say obey. This thing was already talked about. She can't even say obey. She might as well just walked away, because if she couldn't say obey, we wouldn't have said yes. The question would have ended right then. Well, then I'm not asking.
Should have left her there.
Yeah, that was disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Even if she didn't want to say obey, even if they had agreed that obey wasn't going to be a part of it, in my opinion, she was disrespectful to that man. She's supposed to cover him just as well. She's supposed to protect him. I bet everybody in that darn audience, especially the men, was jonesing him, was like, you a simp, you gonna marry that woman, she gonna definitely be telling you what to do. What about that, y'all? What about that? Our women out of control. But listen, Austin, we appreciate you and the ability to use your video. But again, women are just as responsible. Actually, for now, they're more responsible, because the decisions they're making to be alone, to become single mothers and not have fathers in the home, not to be covered, not to have a tradition. Well, you got to have traditional. It ain't got to be traditional, but not to live or want the nuclear family. That means they are choosing to live a destructive life.
Right.
Of rebellion. They don't want that. And Mr. Milner was absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what they're choosing. So listen, it's been a great night. Black men, you got a show coming tomorrow. Tell us about
it. Security Boss, I got 9 women coming on tomorrow night. And the name of the show tomorrow night is What is a Woman?
You got all women? Is everybody a woman? Do I need to be standing at the door checking? No, I'm just kidding. Do I need to be standing at the door checking? You know how this goes. Listen, does everybody have a minstrel? Ain't that the argument we're having?
It's bad out here.
It is terrible. So listen, guys, you all have been terrific as always. Thank y'all so much for being here. But tomorrow night at 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 Eastern, make sure you join Black Men Unfiltered with What is a Woman?
What is a Woman?
Ooh, wee. That's something to think about. Now, I can't be there, but I am definitely gonna be there. You already know.
Oh,
I
absolutely,
don't think I'm gonna have camera access for some
Yeah,
time
I
now,
know.
but we're gonna get it straight. We're gonna get it straight. But anyway, everyone have a great night. We appreciate you both. We appreciate you all. We both appreciate you. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you soon. Thank
All
you.
right, peace.
Instead, I'm alone and completely unsure. And even though you're screaming out with the best of intentions, I don't get it. Why do you always gotta ask me to stay? Why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. Say, why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. See, I've been lost in my thoughts, and my thoughts they too scared to usher off. Sorry, Mom, I just thought you were my world. Now you're not. And I'm just sitting, smoking, sloping in the days, cause my days ain't been the same since I drove your away. I remember the way you wrote letters in blue ink. You and me was in love. Think about what your crew think. I know your moms probably think I'm a bastard. Your pops probably want to beat my death and take a in my casket. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cussing. Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars, reading poets at sunset. It's funny how love can pull out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist a spliff and laugh and relax. Are you crying? And I'm trying to find the reasons, so I ask, does forever ever happen, or is it always fade to black? I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road. I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road.